because that's one of the things is like when you go to look for things, you will find something. And there's something that needs to be found. There's something that needs to be discovered. There's information that needs to be unearthed. And it's like, dude, I think there's just so many people living a life that doesn't have any basis in this day and age, or like, I don't know. People are doing a bunch of different shit on the planet. Sometimes I think that this is just an outpouring of some sort of recess of the world. There's some sort of strange corner of what is real that I've stumbled into, and like there's dark corners, and there's shadowy curtains, and there's like a figure sitting in a chair, and there's someone watching, and there's someone who's asking a question, and I'm just kind of wandering through this menagerie of seemingly like an old antique shop or something out of a Harry Potter book, and there's people there who want to know why I'm there, and then when they know why, is that they tell me what they're supposed to tell me. And it's like some people might think that's what I'm saying, is like some people might think that's crazy, but it's like the thing is that's something that needs to be found. That old man in the chair has something to tell you. There's something to find out. There's some sort of riddle to be unearthed. And it's like these are the corners of the world which are trying to be exposed to us. I don't know what it is or what sort of realm it is originated in, but there's somewhere to be. And it's mysterious, dude. I think it's mysterious on purpose. Is that if it wasn't mysterious, it wouldn't be intriguing. That's the thing about it. But it's like there is something to learn. This is why we go to sleep every night. I think is that there is something that has to be found out. Otherwise, things will just fall apart on their own. Without the information getting injected, we just sit around and do the same shit. And things that operate in a sense of stasis do not perpetuate themselves. They don't find themselves moving anywhere. If you don't grow, you die. It's the old adage, right? If you're not growing, you're dying. And so like that's the thing that the old man in the chair has to tell, is he has a piece of information that we need to know. But it's like sometimes when I wander into that place, and that's just one of the places, there's many places. There's the cave, man. I mean, if you go into the cave, you will be confronted. That's the thing. You don't go into the cave by yourself. You do go in by yourself, but you're gonna meet something in there. Like there's these places, and it almost exists as an analogy for the recesses of our unconscious. It is the unconscious. It's a place where we haven't been able to look in our daily waking life because there's so much going on taking up our attention that we don't really have the ability to perceive. It's a level of perception. It's a level of looking at the world in a way that doesn't really have. It's just shrouded and clouded, and maybe it'll pop. Some parts of that place will pop into the world while we are in our conscious waking life, but we're too busy. We're too busy to almost take it seriously. Maybe we might notice it. We might be able to kind of get some sort of unearthing or some sort of piece of wisdom that is injected into your consciousness, maybe even unwittingly. Maybe you don't even want it, but it finds its way in there. But it's like in that place, when you go to that place, it's an undeniable message. And there's something to be found there. That's a place where we go to find. Or maybe it's not to find things. Maybe it's a place that we're taken to be shown. That's sometimes too, is it feels like there's some sort of, and there's a difference between going there and then just letting that place feed you and then come out. Like that place will come. That place is like, it's like, what is it? Like, what do you call it? A typewriter when the paper goes into a typewriter? No, it's like a ticker tape. It's like they want the information to come out of there to go here, but sometimes you have to go there to get it. You have to go visit that place. But it's like, man, there's something to be found out. And I think that place is the place that originates the new shit. And it's like but maybe nothing's new. Maybe nothing's ever been new. And it's just something that has to be found again. What hasn't been discovered already? Certain facts and realities of this realm, of course, can be seen to be unearthed. Like we find things that are new, but we seem to also rediscover a lot. It's like maybe nothing was ever new. It's just we were never able to see it before. We were never able to find it. We were never able to get acquainted with it, or maybe we've forgotten about it, or maybe it was never even really an instantiation in this realm. But if we go there, we can understand it, and then we can bring back a phantom piece of that into this place. But it's just such a fascinating fact that there is some place to go, you know? That's the thing about the world. We all know that. We all know there's some other place to go. And it's like, that isn't it. It's not clear. I think we understand that when we're children, but like in this modern rational world, that we don't really have a great sense. We kind of we lose a lot. The society beats a lot out of you. And you don't really have the same grasp on some aspects of the experience that we're in when you've lived in such a constrained life. And societies can be extremely constraining. You know, societies want you to sometimes just be rigid. There's a control aspect of it. It's like where like they don't want you to go there. We don't want you to go there, because what you're gonna find there is gonna fuck up what we're doing here. Because that's what I think it is. That's the place of rebirth. That's the place where ideas go to be found. That's the place where ideas go to be rejuvenated. That's where the whole everything gets refreshed there, and new things come around. Or maybe it's not new, but it's something that we haven't found yet, or that has been forgotten, or that hasn't really perpetuated itself here yet. But it's like, dude, those things, I mean, everything seems to come there. It came to me in a dream. Right? We've all heard that. It came to me in a dream. We all know what that means. We know what that experience is like, but we don't really know what that means on its own merit. It's like to go to that place and find it so it seems to be so, when you are there, it seems to be so inherently unquestionable. And then when you leave, it's like, was I even there? Was that just what type of trip was that? Like, you know, and some of those experiences, I'm sure, are more vivid than ones I've ever had. I've never been on those, you know, the sensory experience. There's one thing about closing your mind and then entering the subconscious and entering that place through your own head. But then if it originates in some sort of, you know, demanding sense from, if you've done something to your physiology that throws you there, then I'm sure it's an experience that is profound in a sensory way, not necessarily an experiential or conscious way, but it's probably an aspect of the same thing. Or maybe it's a little different, but yeah, dude, it's just like when you're able to open up, and you can open up to that in this way, right? Like I'm doing this right now. It's like, this isn't necessarily taking much effort. It's literally just turning off most of what is usually closing off of what that place has to offer. It's because we don't want to fucking go there during the times that we don't have to go there, because it seems when we don't have time to be there, it's like we don't have time for that, really. We're sometimes interested in it. I know that I am, but a lot of people don't want to even encounter that type of shit. But those are often the most rigid and unflinching people who don't really have any sort of, probably, you know, life has been so beaten out of them. They've been so formed by society that those things aren't even really a conception, or they are, but maybe it's in the subconscious to the level that they haven't been able to really rectify it with their waking life. I mean, people have way different experiences like that. I think people have different brains that allow them to see into it or go there. And you can go there right now. You find yourself there. You just go above the places that you've been. And now you're looking into them, and then now you're finding yourself in a different place, and now you're below everything. You can go below everything in a second. Like, you can do that. And now you're being crushed by everything that's ever existed, and you realize that it's not the weight of what it is that's killing you. It's the fact that you haven't been able to lift it up yet. And that's just one thing. That's just one piece of information. That doesn't come. It's not coming from me. That was something to be found. That's something to be unearthed. That's not that. That's the thing about that place is it doesn't really. It's not you that goes there, or it's not. It's you. Maybe it's you that goes there, but the information that comes from there isn't. You're not coming up with it. It comes from that place. So that's where the imagination. That's where ideas come from. Whatever that is it's where things are formed. It's where things are found, and there's always something to be found because we have to keep moving. We can't stand still. And that's the only way to move conceptually and in the land in the realm of ideas. That's the only way to move is to go there. You can sit there. You can sit there and try to think of something. Try to think of some. Try to make something up. It's not. You won't. You won't be able to. You can't make something up. You can only go to that place and find what you're supposed to find. That's it. That's what that is. People can misconstrue that for themselves. The ego grasps onto that process and ascribes some agency to it. It's not you. You didn't come up with that. You were literally went to that place and found it because it needed to be found. Because we needed that shit, and it was, and you were the one who went there, or you were the one who was chosen, or you were the one that was selected to get it, or you went there and they gave it to you. Whatever that means, you know what but everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody knows inherently what that is, but it's like the mystery. The mystery is not a mystery until you step back from it and you sit in an office for a couple of years, or you sit in school for a couple of years, and everyone else seems to forget about it. But you knew it at one point. It wasn't even a question, and it won't be a question again. And when you go to sleep tonight, you're going to be back in that place, and when you wake up, you're going to realize that maybe this place is a little less natural than that one is. And, yeah.